Hello everybody, it's Lazel here with another video. Today I want to talk about meat shield formations. For those of you who don't know what meat shield formations are a combination out of different troop tiers, especially for your front line, so that you can separate the losses over the whole battle into different troop tiers, preferably into lower troop tiers to save a lot of your high quality troops. Today I want to talk about these formations and give my experiences about them, show some reports, and just explain what this is about. Here on my alternative castle I have prepared 3 different reports and we will check them out. First of all, I always attacked the opponent's castle with 2k of infantry in total, and my opponent always had 1k of tier 9 infantry as defending units. So here in this report you can see that I only sent 2k of tier 10 infantry. This is not a meat shield formation, this is like a basic front line, and we will check out the battle because there are some things that I want you to keep in mind when you are using meat shield formations. So this is the replay. I will speed this up because the deciding thing comes at the end, or is shown in the end of the battle. So here you can see that 2k of tier 10 infantry killed the opponent's units very fast. So they did it within 24 seconds of total battle duration. Keep in mind that when you are attacking another castle and you want to use meat shield formations, you do that to save your high quality troops, because you want to move the losses and most wounded into your lower tier troops. So, and here as reference we've sent 2k of tier 10 infantry and it took those 24 seconds to win against the opponent's units. Now we will check out a report where I have mixed the tier 10 infantry with tier 8 infantry. And as you can see here from the report, we had more losses, we had more wounded units, and all of those were moved to the tier 8 quality infantry. And this is what you want to achieve with this formation, because depending on how many barracks you have and on which level those are, then it comes up to you having not as many barracks that can recruit your high level tier troops. So, and this is why you want to protect those high quality tier troops with this art of formation. And here is the proof. You can see that the losses and the wounded got moved to the tier 8 units. Now we come to the replay. And here also, remember, we had 24 seconds for a pure tier 10 march. And here you can see that it took us 31 seconds just by playing from the infantry side. Of course, your backline or your angels, you always want to send the highest troop tier there, because moving your losses to lower tier troops is mostly just interesting for you in the front line. It doesn't really make sense to bring lower tier mages or archers, for example. And what is interesting in here is to see that it took our infantry 31 seconds to win against the opponent's infantry. Of course, most of the work will be done by your mages and by your angels, but this is something that you should keep in mind, especially when you're using formations where you send only cavalry and angels, for example, no backline at all, because then a lot of damage also comes from your front line. Keep in mind that using a meat shield formation is a nice thing to do. I also do it, but keep in mind that the fights take longer. So, and by longer time windows, your opponents have more time to reinforce into your battles. And then it might happen that you get outnumbered in a battle that you possibly would have won if you had sent a full tier 10 march, for example. But as I just said, most of the damage will be done by your angels and your backline unit. This is the report for the tier 8 infantry edition. As you can see from the report again, we mixed the tier 8 with the tier 10 units. Now I want to take it to the extreme, because I have seen it from very strong castles that they mix their tier 13 and tier 12 angels, for example. They mix those with tier 1 units. And here I have a report for this scenario too. where I have mixed tier 10 infantry with tier 2 infantry. And as you can see, we don't really care about the losses or the wounded because they are moved to the tier 2 units and we can recruit them very fast, so we don't care about losses in there. And now we will check out the replay again. So it took our whole infantry 59 seconds to win the battle against our opponents. Keep in mind that using the tier 1 or tier 2 addition to your high quality troops might just be something for those players that have very strong castles that are also hoping to be reinforced by the opponents to get even more kills and more troops that they can fight against, just because that technology is so high. Tier 1 or tier 2 additions are a nice thing, but it will exceed the whole battle over a very long time. And during that time window, your opponents can reinforce the target that you are attacking. And then it might happen that you get outnumbered and you will have heavy losses. What I like to do, and I know that from my personal experience with my main castle, I like to mix my tier 12 infantry, for example, with tier 10 infantry. And I use those mostly against targets where I know, okay, it isn't that much of a risky target. When I know, okay, I might go for one of the main alliances in the opponent's kingdom during Void War, and I see a good target that I think I can take on alone, and I still have my SOS up, then I go and send, for example, a full amount of tier 12 infantry. But for targets where I know, okay, this is probably a farm alliance, there aren't that many strong castles inside there, this is where I mix my tier 12 with tier 10 infantry, just to move most of the losses and the woundeds into my tier 10 infantry to save as many high quality tier troops as possible for other events. Okay guys, I hope that this presentation of some reports showed you the ups and downs about sending lower tier troops in addition to your highest quality tier troops. You move a lot of your losses and woundeds to the lower tiers, but it increases the duration of the whole battle. And that is something that might end up being very risky. If you are a very strong castle and you know that you can take on several reinforcements at a time, then bringing tier 1 or tier 2 units to your frontline as addition is a nice thing to do. Otherwise, if you just want to move your losses and don't want to increase the duration of the whole battle for several 10, 20 or 30 seconds, then mixing your highest tier with the second highest tier that you have might be a nice thing to do too. Alright guys, so I hope that this video helped you out, and then I would say see you in the next one. Goodbye guys.